All right.
You guys ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. Sound check. Sound check. Check. 1, 2. Let us know if the sound or audio or video, sound, audio, video, has any issues or glitches. The weather is still kind of sketchy outside, so there's a chance that this video cuts out. So if it cuts out, our plan B is to use my cell phone as the camera and have one of our kids hold it. So be prepared for this to cut out. If it doesn't, then hey, we're very lucky. All right? Ready to lock in?
Ready.
Let's get down. You know what the most difficult part is about doing this show, honestly?
What?
The greeting.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hello, is there like, some class I can take on? Because it seems like every time, you say this, hello,
fine.
welcome back, it seems redundant.
No, you have to say. It's just like teachers. Hi, classroom. How was your weekend? It's the same thing.
Don't you think the greeting's kind of important, though?
It is, yes.
So,
or like when you introduce yourself in an interview. Hello, my name is Carla Davis. Nice to meet you. I'm here for, whatever.
Yeah, that's why I ask you to say it in Spanish sometimes. Because
but they don't even understand it.
All right.
Maybe if we go to the bathroom and come back, they'll know that's our greeting, since that's Tsitsipas trademark,
Yeah, right. Okay, so can you start today's show with a poll question up there?
Sure.
Okay, and everybody can just hit this poll as we go.
Mm-hmm.
Will Novak Djokovic win calendar slam? And just leave it at that and hit that poll as we go. But hello, welcome back to another 5K tennis family tennis discussion. Let's get down. Let's go. I had a energetic past couple of days, and I get to cap it off with a 5K tennis show. A couple of shout outs to start today, by the way.
We're good, Alex. We are. We're fine.
Yeah, thanks for asking. A couple of shout outs to start today's show. Number one, Michael Walker in New York. Michael Walker is one of the people that you'll see in comment surely, and he kind of hung out with me digitally per se the past 3 days doing the weather. So that meant a lot. Much love to you, Mike. A couple other people: Knack Attack, Debbie Bales, Beulah Carter, Terry Ann Gillette in San Francisco, and Thomas Chi. Thomas Chi does our scoring for the fantasy teams. By the way, Furzy09 is the only competitor out there that still has a perfect fantasy team after only half of the round one. It's cool. That happened. You can grab it. So you got to hold on to that, Carl. You got to dive.
I have no room.
You got to dive for that. But Furzy09 was perfect on his fantasy team, and a very difficult day to do that. The rest, Knack Attack, Debbie Bales, Beulah Carter, and Terry Ann Gillette are all people that were hanging out with me the past 3 days outside in the element. So thank you so much to you guys. All right, we're starting today's show with this. I guess you can imagine why we delayed today's show like an hour and a half simply to watch the end of it, and that is Tsitsipas Murray.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start with Tsitsipas Murray. Carla, I'm going to turn it over to you. Give me in a nutshell your thoughts, your feelings, your flavor, how much you like or don't like Tsitsipas with his timeout antics and so forth. Let me know how you feel and what do you want to say about the match?
I mean, first of all, as you all know, I used to love Tsitsipas. I thought he would be the first one of the next gen to win a slam. But after watching him today, no respect for that guy. I would have slapped him. He's a little bitch.
Oh, no.
I don't even like Murray because I'm not as a person, but I've never enjoyed his game. But to watch an older guy who's had major surgery and for Tsitsipas to pull that bitch-ass move and to go to the bathroom. First of all, you're like top 5 in the world. You're supposed to beat someone like Murray. You're supposed to. 5 sets, what a shame. Just saying. And then to take the bathroom break. It doesn't take 5 minutes to take a dump. Don't tell me that it takes 5 minutes to take a pee and a dump and to change your clothes. And it definitely does not.
Well,
I'm sorry.
You don't think he's actually
he's not taking a dump. There's no way you're going to take a dump after the 5th set.
Yeah, you're a quasi-$1 million athlete. Believe me, you're dieting well enough to know you're not going to go out on the court and have a stomach issue. Anyway, back to you.
To me, that was, Murray played well from the get-go. I felt like he was playing for something, to make a statement, or maybe his last match, I thought after winning the 3rd set, all right, he's going to take it. At first I laughed at you when I thought Murray even had a shot. I said, no way. Well, Tsitsipas is like, top 5 in the world. You're supposed to beat him. You're supposed to cream this guy. Felix did. Why couldn't you do it? He's better than Felix. So that's why I laughed at you. But when I watched Murray play, I said, all right, I was rooting for him because he was playing the smart game, hitting backhands to him, hitting backhands, moving him, exposing his weakness. But after the 5th set, I said, man, what a bitch. You took like 5 minutes to go to the bathroom, come back.
Yes, we're a positive channel, but when we get into the tennis stuff, and I say this because there's some new people that I think that will be watching, so we're positive, but nonetheless, when it comes to tennis, we talk a little garbage.
Come on, man. You when we play tennis, those type of strategies are not good. What are you telling the young crowd out there that's looking up to you that this is okay? They need to put a rule here. This guy is going to keep using the bathroom breaks, like he said. Someone's got to put a stop to him. You could tell at the end when they shook hands, Murray had no respect for him.
Yeah, he was a little quick.
No respect, and I don't blame him. I have no respect for Tsitsipas. I have a student out there. Her name is Lori, and she loves Tsitsipas. She calls him her boyfriend, and her husband actually sent me a picture of her watching the match. I don't think she knows. His name is Steven, and this is her. She was really into the match, watching it. You can see her with her racket. She's got the Serena racket there. She was really rooting for her man, and I don't blame her.
Well,
I loved him too, but after this, I have no respect. I would never teach a junior to act this way. It's garbage. Garbage. And I don't know who he faces. We have to look at the draw. Who's next for him?
Okay. A couple things real fast. On the last show, my opinion was Murray wasn't necessarily going to win, but he had a good fighting chance. And what does that mean? Okay, I made an equation, and if you see like a graph and there's a player, let's say it's like football or anything, there's a list, and there's you give a check mark to this person if they're good in this category and not if that player is not, and then you have a list of pros and negatives, and whoever has the most checks at the end is the better deal. So I put it this way: you had man versus boy, check for Murray. Okay, check. I think we can agree with that. Next, we had bad hip versus young blood. Check for Tsitsipas, right? Then we had old versus young. Okay, check for Tsitsipas. And then we had more matches and more match ready without the aforementioned check Tsitsipas. So, in my opinion, and I think it's pretty obvious that Murray had a fighting chance based upon age and experience. Murray played the match gusto. In other words, he came out and his job and his mind was, I got to beat this guy in 3 sets. He knew he had to capitalize in 3 sets, had to. Murray's biggest mistake was losing the second set. Now that's kind of rhetorical in a way, like duh. Well, of course it's his biggest mistake because he lost the second. His mojo, his MO, his modus operandi was to get out there, play the match of his life, work the backhand corner to corner, and come out of there in 3 sets. Because he has to. He can't go 5 sets. So what happened was when he dropped the second set, it almost became near impossible for Murray to win at that point. He still gave it his all. One of the tactics that Tsitsipas used, which I think is really crappy, thumbs down, double, is the timeouts. He did one for his foot, and then he left.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
He did one for his foot, and then he left the court, and then came back after a couple of minutes or however many minutes. I don't want to exaggerate, but why is that a problem for Murray or anyone older like me? Is that, let's say Carl and I are playing a match, and we go out and we play. Sometimes we'll play 3 out of 5 sets. Let's just say we play 2 out of 3, and we split sets, and all of a sudden. We have to go stop and grab the phone because my mom's calling or something. And I stand there or sit down for 5 minutes. She comes back. Guess what? My knees hurt. So the reason why the bathroom break was so hideously stupid and shady is it's not that it would have changed the tale necessarily if he would have won or lost the match. But the fact of the matter is you give old man Murray much love, which I'm not a big fan, by the way, but much love to, because I know he's hurting right now. But much love to the brother that goes out there, gives it his all. Homeboy leaves, because I can guarantee you when Tsitsipas came back on the court, I guarantee you his knees were starting to flame up. His mind was starting to boil. And when you add bodily aches to mental strife, you're done. So it's a rule. And you said this, something like watching when we were watching the match, we both said something like watching Tsitsipas play is like watching a junior play, except a really good junior. Why? Because of his antics and this type of attitude. Now, there's a rule book, and in the rule book, it indicates that, yes, you may take a medical timeout. Yes, you may depart the court for XYZ reasons. It's in the rule book. But there's a lot of things in the rule books with kids and anything else that you can give them. You give them an inch, a little rule, and they take a mile, right? And they haven't broken the rule because it's there, but maybe they push the envelope of the rule.
He's pushing the envelope.
He's pushing the envelope of the rule. And you know, that's okay. If that's your boy and that's the type of tennis player you want to watch, is some little, you know, spastic. I know I might offend people in England with that word, as I've now learned. So apologies in advance for that. I did not know. I had no idea that the word spastic offended people in other countries. Here, you know, we'll say, hey, you know, talking about my kid, Justin, you're being spastic. Chill. You know, it's not that way here. So my apologies if I offend anybody with spastic, but I can't apologize for being in the country where I am, where that's not a big deal. Anyway, noted. But
he did the shoe thing first. He changed his shoes.
Yeah, and he did a shoe.
He's always got a shoe issue.
Yeah, there's always the damn shoe.
And I forgot about his foot.
And the foot.
Man, what a bitch this guy is.
Yeah, so he did
his
the shoe
on top of that, and then the bathroom break.
But yeah, and by the way, when Murray was up early on in the match, and I'm going to show you something. When Murray was up early on in the match, we kept seeing pictures of Patrick Moratoglu, Mr. Jack in the Box, that pops up, bing, like a clown on a Jack in the Box, and everybody's camp. That's a young, hot player, namely Coco Gauff, Tsitsipas. You know, they're relatively fresh in the tennis world. But just saying, you know, Serena's on her way out now. Serena hasn't won in a while. Tsitsipas almost lost here, in my opinion. It was really close. Hasn't won a major. Do you think Patrick Moratoglu and Apostolos Tsitsipas are more self-interested than Tsitsipas as himself? These guys, I'm sorry, are very proud of themselves, and that's okay. You know, you can be proud to look good. I'm not hating, definitely not hating. You know, you guys do look good, but damn, I think it's more about these guys than anyone else. You know, I mean, they're Jack in the Boxes. I get Apostolos's. It's always about them.
First of all, you cannot respect Tsitsipas. First of all, sissy bitch, to be that young, 22, 23, and you can't beat someone that has hip issues like other players have beaten Murray, that to me is a problem. You went 5 sets. That to me tells me you're not ready to win a slam. No way close to winning a slam.
Stefanos Tsitsipas, excuse me, I'm giving too much credit. Yes, I'm positive, but my nickname for him that's PG on this channel is Tsitsi Sissy or Tsitsi Ass or something. I'm going to call him Tsitsi Sissy. Sissy has won something like 48 matches this year, right? Mm-hmm. He's played so much tennis in the past couple of years, but yet he needs work in so many categories still. Number one, namely discipline with his returns. Stefanos has a one-handed backhand. It's not a flaw. I hit one, okay? But to always try to come over the top of the ball on the return is highly difficult. What does that mean? Well, okay, let me step about 6 feet behind the baseline, return serve, and always try to split step and hit the topspin. It's really difficult to do that with the one-handed backhand consistently in a high percentage, right? So he needs to be more block in return and place the block and add that into his return, because he misses too many returns to beat someone like Djokovic, put it that way.
No, Djokovic would toy with him after watching him today. I mean, Murray had the great strategy, hitting to his backhand cross court, coming into the net. Great strategies, what you teach juniors and adults to do when you have your opponent out of the court. He used a great strategy. Unfortunately for him, his movement is compromised, and you can tell. Yeah, I felt bad for him. You could tell he was pissed. I guarantee you, if they were at a pub, Murray would have knocked his teeth out.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Murray's kind of great. He's kind of feisty.
I mean, they're both babies. I told, my student Lori, I said they're both babies, because you had Murray yelling at his camp.
Yeah.
I would not want to be his coach, being yelled at for every point I miss. You should never be yelling at your coach. It's you playing the match, and that's it. And then Tsitsipas being a little girl, I told her, I said they both need titties in their mouths, from mama.
Called us on fire.
I mean, but it pissed me off.
Woo,
I felt bad for Murray. I really did, because he deserved to win this match. And every match that Tsitsipas plays, I'm going to root for the other player. And if I ever get to see him live, I'm going to yell real loud. I'm going to call him names, and I'm going to root for the other player. I don't care if it's Puppy Hater. I don't care if it's Djokovic. I don't care if it's somebody I don't like. I'm going to root for them.
There you go. Let's get down. Let's go. Come on. Tell it like it is. Okay. By the way, when Andy Murray walked on the court today, I think the crowd and us as fans. Now, by the way, I'm not an Andy Murray fan, really, at all. Let me ask everybody a question. Is there a moment in Andy Murray's tennis career? Yes, I know he's won 2 Wimbledons. Yes, I know he's won the U.S. Open. But is there a moment in Andy Murray's career that you can stop right now and look back on, and you can be like, oh, my goodness, that was That was the most amazing. Your life changes because you saw it. Is there any oh wow moment in Andy Murray's career? Yes, I know he was the first British man since what, Fred Perry, to win Wimbledon since like 1938 or something. I get it. It's important. But from outside looking in, is there an Andy Murray moment where you're like, oh,
the only match
besides that?
The only match that I cheer for him was this one and one in Cincinnati, like several years ago. I can't remember the match.
Yeah.
He went, all the way 3 sets, but he had to retire in the next one. He was crying.
Yeah, Alex Kiriar's right.
Crying.
He did do back-to-back. He won 2 in a row, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Much respect for this guy. He's in great shape, by the way. If you look at him, great shape. Abs are strong. Even my son said, wow, that guy is jacked.
Yeah.
He's ripped.
He was sweating pretty good, too.
And unfortunately, he was born in an era of where Djokovic and Nadal and Federer were, because otherwise he would be right in the top as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tsitsipas, thumbs down.
The nostalgia that when the match began and he won the first set, the nostalgia is everyone seems to forget that there used to be in the recent past a big four. Murray was the big four. There were, there was a 4 horsemen back in the day. With the 4 horsemen, if Michael Walker's out there, he would know. The 4 horsemen were Frenchmen, right? And wasn't Henry Lacoste in there? Who were the other guys, the 4 horsemen? Nonetheless, I think Lacoste was one of them. I may be wrong. But you had the 4 horsemen. You had Murray, you had Djokovic, you had Federer, and you had Nadal. Some people will say there was the big 6. You throw in Del Potro because he won a major, and Wawrinka, and he won, 3 himself? Didn't Wawrinka win a U.S. and 2 French? Isn't that correct? No, I have that wrong.
Wawrinka only won.
Wawrinka's won 3 of the 4. Isn't he 1 away from a career Grand Slam?
Yes.
So he's won 3. The only one he missed is Wimbledon.
And one of the best one-handed backhands, by the way.
Yeah, textbook. Okay, backhands. So Murray gave life to those that have nostalgia as a hobby. I really don't in tennis because things come and go. However, the big 3, I don't want to say the big 4, but the big 3 is something we'll never see again. 3 guys to have, 20, 60 majors between them. That's insane.
No, we'll never see that.
We'll never see that again. That won't happen again.
One is the warrior, one is the bullfighter, and the other one is what? What would you consider Federer?
Who, Djokovic?
Djokovic is the warrior to me.
Yeah, Djokovic would be like warrior. Yeah, like gladiator, then, like Russell Crowe.
That was the bullfighter, and then Federer is what?
Federer would be like the
knight.
Zorro.
The knight.
Would he be Zorro?
He'd be like a knight.
Well, a knight had
you got Tsitsipas, who's a bitch. Zverev, who's a puppy hater and a woman beater. And then you've got Medvedev, who's you can't really look bad at Medvedev.
I like Medvedev. Yeah, I like Medvedev.
Yeah.
He just needs to clean up his damn net game because he has no net game.
At least he's a man. The other 2, I got a question about.
By the way, I'm going to throw this in there. Speaking about being a man, none of you probably care, but did any of you watch or I couldn't? The power was out, but I followed it. The Tyrone Woodley and Jake Paul boxing fight last night. It was rigged, and let me tell you how. Again, I'm a tennis player, grew up playing football. Tennis, football, baseball, other sports. One of the things my father used to work with us and was not hitting, but the footwork and the movement associated with boxing. So I have this natural love for boxing. Joe Louis is my favorite boxer of all time. I love Mike Tyson too. Used to get all his pay-per-views, and he used to be free on HBO, and my heart was torn when Buster Douglas beat him. But anyway, I know the fight was rigged. How? Tyrone Woodley at one point landed a shot and knocked him against the ropes. Generally at that point, a boxer goes in and continues to just pound on him until the ref is, anyway, that didn't happen. So I think it was a lucky shot, unexpected. And that happened. And he realized that, this isn't going to go as planned. So I need to back up real quick and hope he gets up because he didn't attack him again. That shows you it was rigged.
Why do people spend money watching though?
Yeah, but if anyway, I don't want to waste time on that here, but from someone that at least knows a little bit about boxing, and I'm just a dumb human being. I understand we're all dumb human beings. We know little about anything on this planet, honestly, and I know little about boxing outside that I love it and worked on boxing footwork drills, but it was rigged because any bozo knows if you put someone on the ropes, you go in and just go ahead and finish him. And he didn't do that. It was definitely rigged. Entertaining, yes, but rigged, yes. Okay.
I don't know anything about those guys, but I was telling you the blonde hair guy, I said, you could tell he sold his soul to me. When you do that sort of stuff, you're selling your soul.
Can you define selling your soul?
You're being fake. You're living a life that's not meant to be. That's not how you're supposed to live life. Selling your soul, selling yourself that way to lie to people, in front. To me, I don't like watching crap like that.
Yeah.
I have no respect for people like that.
Or when they come out with when they come out and do press conferences with
I have
people,
no
with
respect for
respectable people doing interviews, and they're dropping F-bombs and F this and F that.
Garbage. Why do we watch garbage?
Yeah, why do we watch
human beings? You know, Justin, you made a lot of videos this week. And then, you know, but those people that send negative comments about your weather video, they watch that type of garbage. That's what they like. You know, you go on these YouTube videos and they watch people beating each other up, or some kid throwing something at another kid. And that's cool with them. But then when someone makes something positive, they want to bring you down. That's human beings are garbage sometimes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They really are. They like the crappiest shit. They like to watch bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's wrong with this world. Just saying.
Yeah. So when I guess as I've aged, what I try to do is walk away more, and usually, walk away more. I do. There's no walk away more. I always walk away. I try to tell Carla when there's comments that are negative, just hide them from me so I don't get wrapped up in it. I just ignore it. So what's the old saying? Ignorance is bliss. That's me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, back to Murray, though. Don't forget that Murray is a 3-time major champion. He gave it his all. In my opinion, if Murray had won that match, that would have been maybe one of the matches of his entire life. Outside of, yes, I know he's won 3 majors and went through his heyday. Mm-hmm. But if he would have won that match, to me, that would have been a good match for him to retire on. In other words, I just beat Tsitsipas. Even if he lost in the next round, hey, I can go out on a high note here. This is what Roger Federer is going to have to do. Roger Federer is going to have to find his way into a match at a major where he beats, say, Novak. Roger Federer's seeding is going to be dropping. So as soon enough, if he doesn't retire before then, he'll probably get a random seeding against a Novak or Zverev or Tsitsipas, or don't forget about Casper Ruud. Let's get down, Norway. Come on, Norway. Let's go. Put Iceland on the map. Casper Ruud is definitely going to the quarterfinal. And don't forget that Carla has a bet with all of you.
He couldn't even watch 2 minutes of Casper Ruud. That's how boring Casper Ruud was.
I was still doing my weather video.
I said, do you know your boy that you picked to go to the finals? Do you know how he looks like? Have you seen him play? So I'll put it on the match.
Hating.
He plays Sugita. That was boring. Don't tell me that guy's going to be a Grand Slam. Come on, man.
Just because I predicted him to go to the final or the quarterfinal doesn't mean that if Sugita is playing Ruud, I'm stoked up about watching them play. When I got the weather going on.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about Isner. It's so disappointing to watch Isner. I saw many of you guys pick Nakashima as your wild card or qualifier.
Good pick.
I picked Isner, and that I was really bummed out. Today, it looked to me like Isner couldn't even serve right. He had no strategy. He was late on his shots. He was approaching the net when he didn't need to. The ball was already passing him. It was tough to watch that for me.
Good match. We watched that one too.
I'm not saying that it was a bad match. Just tough to watch.
Yeah.
Someone you've watched for so long.
Yeah.
Just
since coming
kind
out
of late on his shots. Like time has finally got to him.
Agree totally.
Yeah.
Said it perfectly. We watched John Isner playing college tennis at Georgia, which is right up the road. It's about 4 hours away. Athens is. No, it's about 5 or 6 from here, honestly. But anyway, yeah, he was sluggish. He was sluggish. I don't.
No fight in him.
I don't think that it's a shock that this happened.
No, it's not a shock. Nakashima is a good player, by the way. He won. He didn't celebrate. He's very cool, calm, and collected. You know. Yeah,
well, Nakashima, by the way, is no joke. Nakashima was I think he played college at University of Virginia, the Cavaliers. I think Didn't you live in Charlottesville where UVA is?
Mm-hmm, I did.
So he's a solid college player. I think he won a national championship there at UVA, if I remember correctly.
Division I, yeah.
D1 school, it's a good thing. He got his education, and here he is in the pro, so good for him. But what I think is I was going to say a bad word, sorry. My bad. No.
1 year he played. 1 year. Well, yeah, he did the right thing going to pro.
Okay, but it was a good foundation for him.
Mm-hmm.
It was getting away from home for a little while, getting away from mommy and daddy, washing your clothes and making your bed and cooking your breakfast. And he went to college and was on his own for a year to become a little bit more independent. So it's like weaning off the parents. And this is a topic for another day. But nowadays, kids, in my opinion, are so babied that they need a weaning period off the parents. Like, when I was a kid, I turned 14, 15, my mom and, dad wasn't in the picture at that point, but my mom's like, I can't really afford to get you this or get you that. So I'll get you a lawnmower and you're going to go out there and you're going to cut grass and whatever. And so there would be, a lot of times where we would work for things, but it seems like these days now, it's easier.
Don't get me started.
Let's not.
Don't get me started.
And why did I even start on that in the first place?
No clue.
Why did I even bring that up? What was I talking about prior to that?
Went to college. Went to
UVA. So let's just say John Doe has a kid and that kid is Mary Jane, and Mary Jane has been super spoiled their whole life. They've gotten a Lexus given to them at 15 years old or 16. They haven't done a thing except, maybe make good grades or whatever. And then all of a sudden they go to college and they're away. And now immediately they have to learn how to put detergent in the washer. And you're like, what? You can't put detergent in the damn washer? I think my 5-year-old can do that. You have to start learning to do these things immediately. And sometimes it gets so difficult that young college students fail out of school because they can't keep up with the common things that mommy has always done. That's not how we roll. That's for sure. I'm just saying that's how the majority of people roll. You get me? You feel me? Mm-hmm. That's true. That's fact. Get some. And that's true. So Nakashima, I think, did a good thing going to college.
I like watching him.
Yeah. And now part B of what's shitty about this is John Isner and Nakashima are both American, and they got put to play one another in the first round. I have bitched about. Why do I always do that?
Because of Tsitsipas.
I can't help it. Why do they always have to put two Americans facing one another in the first round? Well, I can tell you why. It's because usually, or at least now for the past decade, every American male sucks. Let me say this nicer. All of the American male players right now aren't that good. Okay, we got Paul Bunyan, Isner, and we got a bunch of college players.
Paul Bunyan.
That's Opelka.
But Nakashima, I like the way he presented himself. He seemed very quiet, very respectful. He didn't scream. He didn't grunt. When he shook Isner's hand, he had respect for him. He didn't over-celebrate. So I said good win for him. I think he's 20 years old, so pretty good. I mean, his jaw is looking good. He beat Isner. Let's see who he plays next.
The reason why you can never bet on any American player playing another American player.
He plays a qualifier. Good for him.
You can't ever bet on an American player playing another American player because they're all about the same. So every match you get, it's like a coin toss. Okay, Tiafoe plays Mackenzie McDonald. Head scratcher. Okay, let me give you some more, though. Taylor Fritz plays Opelka. Head scratcher. Isner plays Opelka. 7-6, 6-7, 7-6, 7-6, 6-7, 7-6. Oh, my gosh. It's like the Matrix with the numbers falling down the screen. You're like Opelka, Isner. You're like, oh, my gosh, tiebreaker, big serve. Let's go. Tiebreak. It's freaking mind-boggling. But that's how it is. Give me two more. Give me two more American players, and you're head scratching. Korda might be a little bit above them, I think, at this point. Yeah. But what I'm getting at is the reason why all these tournaments put sometimes American men, in my opinion, facing one another in the first round is because they know that either one of these guys is destined to lose. Get one of them out of there immediately, and let's just keep the other one in there to maybe sell a few tickets for Patriots, and that's about it. I'm just saying that's what I'm saying, right? Mm-hmm. Look at another match today. Sloane Stephens played Madison Keys.
Oh, let's not start that. That I wrote down here. What? I said, okay, where did I write that? I know what I wrote, but I just want to make sure.
Oh, damn, really?
I said, first of all, I hate the Nike dresses. Hate them. I feel like I'm watching a soccer team. You know how you have the two colors with the stripe? Nike needs to do a better thing. Adidas wasn't good either. I said the Nike dress looks like they're in high school, like the coach picked out the outfit for the whole team. I said she's wearing the yellow and blue. Halep was, so was Madison Keys. And then Sloane Stephens wearing the green and the blue. Awful. I said, I feel like I'm watching two USTA juniors right now play each other.
Yep.
No strategy. Stephens had no pace on her shot. Keys hitting everything with no strategy. We knew it was going to go to 3 sets. Yep. Absolutely boring tennis.
I agree totally.
Just boring. You couldn't even get excited. I would flip back just to see, let me give it a shot. No, it was just not good.
For me, when I watch these two play, and it's happened quite often, by the way, when I see these two play, especially in the first round, it seems like I'm watching best friends play.
Mm-hmm. That's the problem.
And they are friends, and that's okay. It's like we teach, we're coaches, and we have a lot of students, or at least a lot of students that we see at tournaments, and they're about to go play their opponent, but yet they're sitting on the bench together right before they walk on the court, and they're sharing like, oh, what are you doing later? Oh, hey, usually it's the girls. Not always, though. I've seen some of our boy students do it too, but, they're about to go play a semifinal or a first round match or whatever against one another. I mean, that's like me going to play Carla, and I'm fixing to play her in a semifinal match, and I walk up, hey, how are you? I like your shoes. I like your headband. Where did you get that? What are you doing later? And I'm supposed to go. I'm fixing to step in the ring and kick your ass now.
That's not me.
That's not how it doesn't work that way. Mm-hmm. And that's how I feel when Madison Keys plays Sloane Stephens. I feel like it's okay. You know, it's almost like the Tyrone
And
Woodley.
then they hug each other. Look, I played tennis against my best friends, and I would tell them, I love you when we're outside with great friends, but when we're in the court, I hate you. I said, because I want to win. I want to further my tennis career. I said, I'm not here to be your friend, your buddy. I'm here to kick your butt.
Come on.
And watching those two is just horrible, you know?
Look, when I play Carla, I want to beat the brakes off her ass. I want to destroy. Let's go. I want to just absolutely slaughter you. I want to be your wife when I'm playing you.
Jack Nolte, you said rubbish, best friends, very lame stuff. Serena, Venus sisters used to have some belters. Even Venus and Serena, when they would have matches, I would turn off the channel. I said I can't. I said because if Serena's playing an opponent, she is fighting, and if Venus playing an opponent, she is fighting. And watching them two play was like watching sisters play. And I said it just. You know, it just wasn't good.
Well, I think the first few were, I think, natural. But after the first few, I think it got a little theatrical and maybe a little WWE writing world wrestling scripting going on in there. In my opinion, in a lot of matches in tennis, I feel that there are some set gifts or some set gifting and some WWE writing behind the scenes. I believe that. I can't prove it, but I do believe that. I think there are scripted fights like the Tyrone Woodley and Jake Paul fight last night. There was some behind the scenes stuff.
Look at that. Ben Frigger says, Stevens, I want to win this tournament, but just because we're BFFs, I will gently hit the ball straight to you.
Exactly,
That's
Ben.
what I felt like I was watching.
Ben.
Even the serve, there was like no pace. And poor Madison Keys had so much potential. When she played against Stevens in the finals, honestly, Keys should have won that. I felt like Keys was the better player, should have won the slam, and I felt like it would have changed her career. Now, she just sucks.
Do you feel that Sloane Stevens just has the edge in that relationship, or take their relationship off the court and say that Sloane Stevens is the alpha female in that relationship? She's the dominant one, because it seems to happen time and time again. By the way, shout out to Ivo Karlovic, Big Evo. He lost today.
Straight sets, but not serve the way he usually does.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's my age and he's still out there and he's in it. And I say shout out to Evo because I've watched Evo for 20 years, probably, maybe longer. I forget when he turned pro. I'd have to look. That was just off the head. Don't yell at me for that. I've watched him for a very long time. And for him to still be out there is great. And he said something after the match that struck me in a little bit. I love Evo. Let's go, Evo. Love you, bro. Keep going if you can, man. I know that body hurts with that tall frame and that big serve. Ask Isner, ask Opelka, and they're way younger. And you're still here. Let's get down. Come on, big Evo.
But he did mention in his interview that could be his last match because he's out of, in the high 200s, and he doesn't want to play challengers anymore.
And yes, and if you've been a former player, Carly, you know this very well. There comes a point in time where you either want to do something or not, because playing challengers, it's a grind.
Why do you want to start all over?
What are you going to make? $1,000. I mean,
you spend more travel.
Yeah, you're done. So Evo has put can afford, at least I don't know, but I'm guessing after so many years playing the game and at a high level for so long, I'm guessing he can chill out and call it a day. And if so, much love, Evo. Come on.
Let's go to another match.
All right, let's go to Georgie and Halep.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Let's go to Georgie and Halep.
I picked Georgie. I fell for it. Georgie had a good summer. When she came out, I said, "Oh, look how cute! She looks like an '80s Barbie doll that used to dress up." She had the pink outfit.
She looked pretty ripped.
She's ripped. I said, "Look at her '80s cute Barbie outfit." And then I look at Halep's outfit. I said, "Horrendous, horrendous." Just horrendous, Nike. I mean, last year they came out with some awful thing, and the year before that, it's like they got no imagination anymore. But anyways, we're watching.
Whose outfit? Halep?
Nike and Adidas.
Okay, go ahead.
But, we're watching this match, and I told him, I said, I feel like every time I hear Halep grunt, I feel like listening to a woman that is having a baby with a midwife next to her, coaching her on breathing.
Oh, my goodness.
It was like, so annoying. I don't know how Georgie just didn't, snap her or, try to hit her when she came to the net, because it was annoying. She won the match, which I'm kind of shocked she did, because I felt like Georgie should win this match.
So this is the dress she's talking about. I don't know if it's too apparent there.
Awful. It's not attractive. It's just not. That's not creative. At least let's come up with some design or something. I don't know. Put a triangle here, a square here. I don't know, a zigzag.
Oh, wait a minute. By the way, talking about triangles and squares, did you guys watch Azarenka play Martin Kova? Or I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Martin Kova. She had a tattoo, a full arm sleeve.
Worst tattoo I've seen in my life.
But there was like a blank triangle. And so she had the whole arm sleeve and there was like a blank triangle. I was thinking to myself when I first saw either a YouTube play button or Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon. I couldn't quite figure out if it was Pink Floyd or somehow like she got sunburnt and the tattoo artist somehow couldn't.
I was trying to figure out. I was like, is that a sleeve or is that tattoos? Awful. Come on. Girls, I know you like if you like the tattoos, make it look elegant. Because when we get older and we get wrinkled, because we all do, that's part of life. Do you think that sleeve that you just did on your arm is going to look good? It's not. For you to like it just
I wouldn't want you to get something like that.
That is awful. If you wear this beautiful dress, you're going out with your man or whatever, you're telling me that tattoo is going to complement all over your sleeve. I could tell, okay, a guy could be different. But you telling me that dress is going to look nice with that big ass tattoo?
It can, yeah.
No,
I think it has. I think tattoos on women have some
elegant tattoos.
Well, no.
Some tattoos.
Okay. Let me give you my take on tattoos on women. I like women that are feisty but controlled. I like women that are strong and that look. Let me finish. So for me, I like a little bit of flaunting. A woman's strength. I love to see a strong woman, and it just makes me want to go after him. I'm like, damn, Carla, you're strong as hell. Let me just go. I just want to grab her and freaking body slam her. I'm like, what? I don't want to hug you. I want to let's go boxing or something, man. So I look, when you're strong, I think there's something about a tattoo that makes you a little bit more barbaric. Does that make any sense? Mm-hmm. So Carla, by the way, has made a bet with all of you and me that if Casper Ruud, the Norwegian, yes, Casper Ruud, spelled R-U-U-D, not R-U-D-E, Ruud, Casper Ruud, if he makes the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open, she has to get her first tattoo. Where would you get it? What are you thinking?
Something small.
But what do you have to have thought about this at least sometimes, unless you just think it's a joke, but it's not. She has to prove it and we'll show it on the show.
I believe
but
that.
Where would it be and what would it be?
It could be something here or it could be on my finger, somewhere small where it's not so visible. I don't want the world to see. Again, when we get older, those tattoos get wrinkled. That's why the women that put the tattoos on their back, that cracks me up. Like, do you really think in your 80s, that thing is going to look the same way?
Look, I heard a joke at one point in time that, a man gets a tattoo when he's young and it says like B-E-A-U, like beautiful. I'm making up something. And then when he gets old, it shrivels up and just says B, because the skin rolls up over it. But, if you stay in shape, I don't think you have to worry about that. But,
in your 80s, Justin, come on.
Can I get if you got something here, could I get the same one?
I'm going to win the bet. Don't worry about it.
Casper Ruud's going to the quarters. Mm-hmm. And if so, she gets the tattoo. I'm going to film it too. I'm going to go to the tattoo shop and ask if I can film it, but they may not let it on YouTube because of the blood.
I'm glad Azarenka won the match. Shocked the hell up, won the match, real shocked. Georgie really messed that up. No strategy, by the way. I asked myself why Georgie has all the tools, the nice strokes. She can hit the ball with pace. Why hasn't she won more? Well, today she proved it. No strategy. You got a girl that's grunting like she's having a baby. Hello, let's slice. She's using your pace. You're hitting the ball hard. She's using your pace.
Exactly.
Take the pace away and make her work harder. She didn't.
Yeah, Georgie has always been this kind of one-dimensional player. I will give her a big shout out for her fitness. She is in impeccable shape.
Yes,
and always has been in impeccable shape. Sometimes watching Georgie, you're like, wow, she's kind of like Monfils. Gal Monfils is in incredible shape, and you're just like, man, why isn't he the best in the world? And Georgie's thing is she's one-dimensional, kind of like Sabalenka or kind of like Kvitova, even though Kvitova's won major. She hits the ball big and doesn't add a lot of variety. Simona Halep absorbs big hitting. She absorbs the ball, places the ball, grinds it out, plays the game that Murray tried to play tonight against Tsitsipas, except, Halep is younger. One of the things that confused me about Halep, though, is during her practice matches before the tournament, we were watching her practice, and Halep was limping around during the practice sessions and shaking her head like, what the heck? And so you and I both took Camila Giorgi on our fantasy teams. Mm-hmm. We both took Giorgi because we figured that Simona Halep was injured. She was limping around during practice. She was shaking her head, that her practices weren't going well. She was significantly taped up, and then bam, she plays a good match against Georgie. But Georgie just didn't have the piece of damn mind to tell herself that Halep's just eating up my pace. She's loving it. Georgie needed to add variety and bring Halep forward. She's a little thing. She can run down balls, but bring her in. She's vulnerable. Go for the 2-shot pass. Aim for Halep's feet. Bring her the short ball. Keep it low so she can't cram it down your throat. And then aim for the feet again and set up the 2-shot pass. And she didn't even try to implore it. She just kept trying to hit forehand, backhand, big, hit corners and flat. And it didn't work too well for her.
All right, let's go to the next match. Muguruza and Vekic.
Let's go. That was a good match too.
I love Muguruza. I watch her on Instagram. I think she's a funny girl, in shape. Won a few slams. Could have won more. Watched her play Vekic. She was much better than Vekic. Vekic, by the way, is not the same girl she used to be.
No.
I told him Wawrinka sucked the life out of her. The older guys dating the younger girls, they suck the life out of those younger girls. They take the best of them, I feel. So watch out, young girls dating like super, super older guys.
Yeah, the Vekic is what she's alluding to is Donna Vekic is Wawrinka's ex-girlfriend. And there was a point in time where Nick Kyrgios was wrapped up in this. Do you guys remember? I don't know how long
she used to go out with Kokkinakis.
Yeah, and then Kokkinakis was wrapped up in it. So there was like a menage a quartet. Not really, not that. But nonetheless, there was a match where Kyrgios was like mouthing off at Wawrinka. Who was it?
I don't know.
No,
they were playing against each other.
I forget what the drama was, but nonetheless, there is some history between Wawrinka and Vekic, but Vekic looked very out of shape in that match.
Yes, she had no, before when we used to see her, she had a very puffy face. We know she had knee surgery, so I give her the excuse. Her legs looked out of shape. Her arms looked soft. If she's a regular girl, regular life, not a professional athlete, I would say she looks fine.
No problem.
No problem. But when you're a professional athlete playing on the tour, you have to look a certain way. You have to act a certain way. That is your job to look like an athlete. It's like watching a track runner. Can you imagine watching a soft track runner run across? No, I mean, you'd be like, really? Or it's like when you have the boxers and they do their weigh-ins and one boxer's out of shape, you almost laugh,
I agree with you.
And she just looked very soft, very puffy, a lot of water. Her legs look out of shape. She was slow. She didn't look like a tennis player. Maybe the knee surgery hasn't let her get back in shape.
It's very possible.
Muguruza was the better player, though.
We have given grief. No, we're not picking on Donna Vekic alone. We have given grief to Naomi Osaka. We have given grief to Taylor Townsend. We have given grief to Bianca Andreescu. We have given grief to Jack Sock and many other players when they come show up for matches out of shape. She was out of shape. I get there's a knee surgery, and that's okay. But if you want to play at the highest level, then you can get in the pool. Believe me, I ruptured my patellar tendon when I couldn't move my leg. We did whatever we could to keep me moving, sitting down, doing curls, whatever. You can still stay fit even if you're down a leg. I'm just saying, I've been through it. My patellar tendon, she had like an orthoscopic deal. Mine was torn open with 57 stitches and sutures down the front of my knee with grafts of tendon. I was still able to maintain upper body strength. I had 35-pound dumbbells. I would be laying down in pain, I'd be curling and whatever. I did my best to stay fit. I had to, because I have to deal with you. I have to deal with your rest. So I had to come off my patellar tendon and come out and be ready to play you with all your smack talk. But I did it, right?
Yeah.
So she can do it too. She's much younger than I.
It's Wawrinka. Wawrinka sucked the life out of her.
Sucked the life out like a raisinette.
He went.
What are those little raisins?
And now I'm done with you.
What are the little raisins? What are the little raisins you used to get at the movie theater as a kid? Raisinets. I'm not a sweet eater, but Raisinets, is that the worst candy ever? Does anyone like Raisinets? Do you remember this candy?
No.
Do they still have it now?
Yes, no.
Little Raisinets?
No.
I think there was a pair. There was a Raisinette and there was a Goober. So you either got the chocolate covered raisin or the chocolate covered peanut. Which one did you like? Neither? What did you go with at the movie theater?
M&M's peanut.
Junior mint?
Hell.
Oh, you don't like the mint.
M&M's peanut.
You went with M&M peanut?
Yeah.
You know what I went with?
And Sour Patch.
You know what I went with?
What?
I went with the Twizzlers, the red Twizzlers. And some popcorn with the extra butter and that extra salt.
Interesting on the votes. Will Djokovic win calendar slam? We're at 50-50.
50-50.
That doesn't really give us an answer. I just told Furzy09, I said, you haven't lost any player. He said, yes, because I didn't choose Konju and Georgie. Laugh out loud.
Furzy09. Okay, in chat right now, give this guy fives, like a high five. So put fives in the chat. If you're watching right now, I want fives in the chat. And if you watch this later, put fives in comments. Today was an absolute abysmal day at the U.S. Open. We have how many players doing fantasy? 29?
29. And I can tell you there's one player that has all zeros.
Yeah.
All zeros.
29.
I've never seen a player have all zeros across the board.
29 players. And Furzy 0999. What's up? Furzy 09 is perfect. What's going on? I just saw Mike Walker out there. Sup, man? Mike Walker, love you, dude. Seriously, I was out in the rain and the elements, and I was recording, and I get these notifications when messages come up, and I'm like, man, I miss my 5K family. I'm like, I miss my people because I was running around in the rain for 3 days, and so I would put YouTube thing, and I'd be like, Mike Walker, he'd be like, you guys good? I'm like, yeah. So there was a time where I was sitting on a pier forming something, and it was like raining really hard, whatever, and it was like, Mike Walker, you good? And I'm like, yeah. Much love, man. I meant a lot. All right, where we leave off?
We were talking about Vekic and Muguruza.
Yes.
By the way, what's up with these reptile Adidas outfits? I don't know, man. You know, if I'm playing the U.S. Open, I don't want something that's dark. You know, I think I would especially, they should have thought, you know, here we went through COVID and all that. We're in the United States. They should have picked some colors like blue, red, and white. Something to represent what everyone's been through. And it was just dark to me. Why? Looking at those colors was dark. Not something that I would want to play in the summer with. But it would be too hot.
But isn't New York, especially at night for the U.S. Open, isn't the U.S. Open, you know, if you think about all the majors and the color of the sponsors' attire, in other words, you know, Nike, Adidas, Hydrogen, name it, Solinco, whatever or Babolat. You know, for the Australian Open, it's usually like a yellowish color. And then for the French Open, you know, it's something that matches kind of the clay color. And then for Wimbledon, it's obviously white. The U.S. Open for players that play at night, generally it's black. Federer played in all black when I was there, when I watched him beat Djokovic in 2007.
But these weren't night matches that we were watching.
Well, but I'm saying, though, it's like U.S. Open black is okay. You know, yeah, Wimbledon's white and U.S. Open is black.
This is like an olive reptile.
But you get what I'm – it's the same dark stuff.
I felt like it didn't represent New York. Like when Maria Sharapova came out to play against Halep, she came out, boom, with the black dress and the sparkles. That's New York. If you're from New York, you get that, you know? Exactly. Even Zarina, when she comes out, boom, representing New York. That's what you want to do. And I felt like no one's representing the U.S. Open. The outfits are hideous. Maybe golf did better because at least she had the pink, you know, the color that pops out.
She had kind of a black and white color.
And then
she had the pink. She had the pink hair.
It was fun to watch. Yeah. It was fun, and that's what New York's about.
But look,
I don't know. Do you get it, Michael Walker? You live there.
I think you're missing the point too of the Nike stuff. The Nike stuff is more vintage right now. So if you go back to Sampras and Agassi, and Mike Walker will follow this one for sure. But you go back to Sampras and Agassi, and when Agassi had his jean shorts and his little collared,
they did that already.
But the logo. The Nike logo was a little tennis court with different colors. It was like a little red and green, like a maroon and forest green with a little gold logo. It was the vintage setup. And it seems that they're bringing back the more vintage look this year. I think they pulled the vintage look last year as well, though. I think it's more of boring. It's more of a vintage.
But it's boring.
I get it, but it's
boring. By the way, for those that are playing fantasy, Sanga pulled out, Zugita went in, and he lost anyways. Brady pulled out, Vogeli went in, and Ostapenko pulled out. So Minen went in. And those of you who picked any of those players will be substituted with the lucky losers.
Had to do that. Had to do it that way because if we let one person substitute for the lucky loser and a bunch of other people pick that person, then it wouldn't be fair to the other people. So if it was just one person, then okay. But if it's a bunch of people, it wouldn't be fair. So unfortunately, it's called the luck of the draw. It is a tennis draw. But yeah. Okay. I want to move forward real quickly to this. Benoit Pierre. Benoit Pierre, the French tennis player. I've given him grief for many years now. He's turned into less of a tennis player and more of a beard. You know, I love beards. Don't get me wrong. I grow a beard sometimes, but his beard has gotten to the point where it's so big, he can stuff sandwiches in it. Like, who is anyone as old as me out there? Did anyone grow up in the U.S. At some point in time and see a cartoon as a kid? And it was WWF wrestling before it was WWE now. It was WWF, World Wrestling Federation, and now it's World Wrestling Entertainment because WWF was actually taken by the World Wildlife Federation. So they sued each other, and WWF had to turn to WWE. But there was a guy, and I forget his name, Lyle Lizato maybe, and he was so big he could stuff sandwiches in his beard, and he'd go out to the ring, and he'd walk out, and he'd go out, and he'd be like, hold on, he'd pull a hoagie out of his beard. That's what Benoit Pierre is to me. He's a big ass beard.
He lost.
He's a big ass beard. But here's why this is important. Okay, I'm just laying the foundation of my thing. Okay, give a
it.
brother a break.
I remember that.
Okay, is Benoit Pierre considered a fall from grace? Have you ever heard this connotation of fall from grace? Some movie star or athlete or big time person, they make a whole fortune for themselves in a world of their own deal where everybody looks up to you, and all of a sudden, damn, you have a fall from grace, like Lance Armstrong riding his Live Strong, yet he had fake balls. You get what I'm saying? You get the metaphor on that, right? So is Benoit Pierre a fall from grace, or was he never great enough to be considered a fall from grace?
He was never good enough to be a fall from grace.
That's what I said.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the guy that was a negotiator. He was a fall from grace. Great movie actor, and then just terrible what he did.
A negotiator.
The movie Negotiator. I forgot his name. It was with
Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey.
That's a fall from grace.
Let's go.
That's a fall from grace right there.
How about the Weinstein guy? Or what is it? Weinstein?
I mean, those
big movie mogul, and then yet
those rich guys, you just never know. Anyways,
Carlos
Flores Navarro, last match, got beat by Collins.
Oh, and she retires. She's done after this.
Yes.
Let's go. Don't forget, Garbine Muguruza had a good showing today.
We talked about that.
Yeah. Schwartzman's through. Schwartzman won. Hold on.
Osaka playing tonight. I want to see that. Kyrgios playing tonight. I want to see that. Sabalenka's playing right now. I'm going to watch that.
Let's go.
I feel like I need to get back on the tennis court.
We do. We got to
We had this storm, and we've been junking, and just sitting around. I haven't gotten my steps. I usually do like 25,000 a day.
We got like 2. No, but I've been running.
And I am waiting for the sun to come out so we can get back on the tennis court.
Let's get down. Okay. By the way, Kevin Anderson won as well. Kevin Anderson, I had initially selected on my fantasy team, but I elected to go with Marin Cilic. Cost me.
Told you guys. Told you.
Cost me.
Told you.
Svitolina, by the way, Elena Svitolina, she won, but she has to be tired. I don't think Svitolina is going to go too deep because she just came off a tournament in North Carolina? Wherever, Cleveland or something.
Oh, Justin likes not Azarenka undressed because she has 2 tattoos now.
Oh, yes.
He's like, oh, yeah, and I think I like her now.
I knew she had one.
Such a hypocrite.
I knew she had one, but now she has 2.
Hypocrite.
Let's go. Okay, tomorrow's schedule. We do shows every single day throughout the majors, so we will do a show tomorrow. There's a couple things on our agenda tomorrow. Number 1, we haven't gone to the grocery store with 4 kids. We have 5. You know this, hence the name 5K Tennis, but one's in college, so we don't got to feed that dude. Let's go. I'm glad I don't got to feed his big ass because he ate a lot.
Nah, he doesn't eat anymore like he used to.
I don't know. He could eat. He could eat a damn whole pizza.
Yeah, he took us to a Japanese restaurant. He ordered like 2 appetizers, an entree, another entree. I'm looking at him like, really?
Hold up, dude. I hope you're paying for that.
But she did.
But anyway, so tomorrow we have to go to the grocery store. We shop in Mississippi because it's better over there.
We got to clean the tennis courts.
We cook a lot of Spanish food, and they don't have the Spanish foods to buy at the Walmart in Alabama. So we go to Mississippi. Then we got to come back and clean the tennis courts. They got sand and just crap everywhere. And we got to figure out a new way to get new canopies because the canopies are gone and people's faces burn off if they're not us. So we got to be considerate with them. So we got to find 2 new canopies. Anyway, long story.
We got one.
Oh, yeah, we do have 1. So uno. Well, 2's probably better because the other one sucks too. It's got a broomstick holding up. We got a canopy, and to hold it up, we got a zip tie and a broomstick.
We're so ghetto.
Freaking ghetto, man.
We're so ghetto.
Our tennis court canopy hold up by broomsticks.
Yeah.
Okay, but the matches, we try to get our shows in during the U.S. Open between like 5 and 7
we'll probably do it
because there's a day session and then a night session. So we try to get it in between that window. So that's the window, maybe the same time frame. We tried to do the show today at 5, but Old Man Murray and Sissy Boy Tsitsipas took too damn long. We had to watch that medical timeout induced whiny baby shoe change. And what was the other thing? Shoe change, whiny baby thing, and something. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But they kept us too long, and we missed that window. So tomorrow the window is between 5 and 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and right now it's 7:33 p.m.
Yeah, and we haven't even had dinner yet.
Yeah,
so
we
need to get rolling here.
Let's go. Boom, boom, boom. Ric Flair.
All right. Woo! All right, guys.
Let's go.
Yes, great match. We talked about it. Watch from the beginning, Trump. That name cracks me up.
What?
Trump and Mary.
Where? Great match between. Yes.
We
What's up, Trump and Mary? Love him.
So 53% think he'll win the calendar slam. Not convincing.
Let's go. I think he does it. The poll question.
If he faces Tsitsipas, I'll be rooting for Djokovic.
Yeah, the poll question from the beginning of the show was, will Novak Djokovic win the calendar slam You guys voted. The votes are in. 53% say yes. 47% say no. I'm going to make it even more lopsided. I'm going to say yes as well. So bring that up to, based upon votes and number, bring it up to like 56%. I'm going with Djokovic taking the calendar slam.
All right.
Okay. He's the best player on the planet. He'll get it. Don't forget to subscribe. Much love to all of you, especially those that hung with me with the weather and tennis. We'll probably turn this video off and pull up our deal, and there'll be like 100 less subscribers because all the weather people bail out until I do my next life-threatening weather video.
All righty.
Show me some love. Don't unsubscribe. Weather people. Love you, man.
Adios.
Take care. Adios.